still give and feel a part of, and they're still contributing. My mom used to be fond of saying that everybody needs to be needed, loves to be loved. Oh, no. Everybody wants to be wanted, needs to be needed, and loves to be loved. But everybody wants to be wanted. And giving of service, that's satisfying.
One of our viewers either didn't grow up in a faith tradition, or they were so traumatized in their childhood by their parents or the faith tradition or whatever, so that they've rejected not only their own faith, but all faith in general. But they look at someone like you, and while I'm sitting here speaking to you, it's very clear I can see spirits shining from your eyes. There's no doubt in my mind.
Tired as I am.
Tired. I can see your eyelids drooping, but I still see the spirit shining out. And so so they see it too, and they see that as attractive. Can you offer them a non-threatening, low commitment level spiritual practice that they could implement that might open their heart door for them?
That's a good question. I don't know if this answers the questions, but one of the things I just love to do, going for walks or sitting in a park or wherever it may be, and I just look at people, like I could look at you and I go, I wonder what it's like to live in his body. I wonder what it's like to live in his life. And just to put myself in other people's shoes and to think, I wonder what kind of conversation we could have if I met that person. So I think that a spirit practice may be just looking for the commonality in another person.
I have two hypothetical viewers. One of them is, well, they're educated, they're doing well in their life, they're, maybe married, maybe not, whatever. They're very socially active. They're busier than a one-armed paper hanger. And the other is someone who's maybe struggling financially. Maybe they're serially unemployed. The kind of person who might come over here and ask you to help them avoid homelessness, someone like that. Neither of them has ever done anything for anything or anyone other than their own narrow self-interest, them and their kids or whatever, nothing but that. Why would both of them, speak to them individually, why would they want to be of service to something besides themselves, and what might they expect to get out of it if they did?
To the one who's really well off and life is good and all is well, I would say that a really good reason to be of service is one, because really we are connected in this world. So none of us really live unto ourselves. And we are not responsible always for whatever wealth and all that we have. I mean, in this country, even the poorest of the poor here still have resources. There are places like this they can come. There are places they can go and get meals. So we are so privileged compared to the rest of the world. So it's all relative, And to say to that person, it's good now, but it can turn in a moment. Personal example, my brother, very successful business person, had a wonderful lifestyle, was in an accident and suffered traumatic brain injury. So, God bless him, he's taken years, but he's well, he's doing okay. He'll never be able to do what he was before. Things can turn in a minute. So his whole life has changed. And so he has had the opportunity and the challenge to come to a different balance in his life. So all of the things that were so important to him before, living in the community and the relationships he had, realized, that stuff doesn't really matter. When your health can be gone in a second, when your ability to speak can be gone, when paralysis hits your body, when a fire hits, when something happens, you realize, this doesn't last forever. It could happen to you. It could happen to somebody in your family. It's happening all over the place, all around you. So when you get in, think ahead a little bit. Think, well, what happened if this was to happen to me? Who would I want to come to my aid? What kind of programs would I hope would be in order? The people that I was most grateful for after my brother's accident, people I'd never thought about before, the occupational therapist, the physical therapist, who very, very patiently, just like they're doing with Gabby Gifford now, I saw the special, very parallel. You know, the same thing that they're doing with these victims of the wars, the veterans that are coming.
Oh, it's amazing what they're doing. They're now regrowing tissue.
Right.
They're
Right.
everything.
So service doesn't always have to be outside of one's profession or career. Sometimes when somebody I have several friends who are physicians. They give all the time through the work that they do.
Do you think? I just interviewed an ophthalmologist who
Mm-hmm.
goes to overseas and does eye surgeries,
Mm-hmm.
but he doesn't give any service except in the narrow scope of his profession.
Mm-hmm.
Which is his most valuable thing he
Right.
can offer. But do you think that it somehow would add more value to him if he also did some other kind of service?
You know, I can't speak for him.
But I'm saying physicians in
for
general.
physicians, yeah, I think it's variety is good. You know, where come see what it's like someplace else, and maybe
Go cut somebody's yard, or
maybe, or
serve food to homeless people, or
Yeah.
whatever.
put yourself in a position where at least empathy and compassion can grow. If you're lacking in that, put yourself in a position where maybe you can experience that.
All right, now what about the struggling person?
The struggling person, same thing. I think one of the things that we're trying to do here at Francis House is say everybody's valuable. And a lot of times when people are down and out, they don't feel their own sense of self-worth or value. And I think one of the ways that we do that, we do it with kids in school, is to say, you know what, you're valuable enough to give back. It's not all just take. What can you do to help somebody else so that you realize that you have something to give? So I think creating opportunities for people who are struggling to give back is huge. So sometimes here, you know, people just come and they'll want to clean, or they'll want to mentor somebody, or they'll just ask us, is there anything you want me to do? Well, we always try and come up with something, even if we have to think off the top of our heads, because you know what? That's a pivotal moment when we can say you're worth something, that your time is worth it.
It seems that it would be worthwhile for you to spend planning time in order to have several things in your pocket ready to go.
Right, and we do have a list of things so we can pull out, depending on what the ability is or whatever. You know, we try and make it valuable, because I think that's one of the ways that we instill confidence in each other, respect. I think a lot of it's about respect. I respect you enough to say thank you to your offer of help, even if you have nothing to give. But, you know.
If I could give you an ironclad guarantee of success, 100%, no chance of failure, for your next project, what would you attempt?
Creating jobs.
How many, where, when?
I want to help people create their own possibility. I haven't thought of this question, so you're catching me off guard. But
That's part of the idea.
Truly, one of the things that I want to take this to the next level. The people that we serve, for instance, that we come in contact with, they're not going to get a job in this economy that's really going to sustain them and their families for very long. So I want to help create jobs from the ground up. Cooperatives, using whatever gifts and talents. For instance, a friend of mine in town, they just created a mobile car detailing business, and they work with transitional housing. And so the residents of the transitional housing program are now employed in their own business, and it's growing and employing more people, many of them parolees or people who otherwise wouldn't be hired.
Someone who's a convicted felon, it's almost impossible.
It is.
Why would you hire a convicted felon
If you
when
have a
there's
choice.
27 people who aren't?
Right. So I really do want to help people build their own businesses, become self-sufficient, self-employed, or organizationally. So Homeboy Industries, I don't know if
I am familiar with them. There's someone that you might want to look into as regards your last answer. Muhammad Yunus.
Who's that?
He's a Nobel laureate. He's from Bangladesh. He's the guy, well, he didn't invent it, but he did microfinance.
Microfinancing, yes. Absolutely.
He made it into a real thing.
Right. I do know.
And I think microfinance might be something that could help you with that project.
Yeah. Well, they have a great one up in Washington. It's called Washington Cash. I don't know how far you're going with this program, but I just happened upon them one time, and it's exactly what they're doing. Getting mentors, microfinancing, helping these people grow these, whatever their business might be.
Humanity just passed 7 billion people over a week or so ago. Let's pretend that all of us are going to watch this video.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say to us?
7 billion people
Are all going to listen to little old you.
I would say count your blessings. I would say be compassionate toward one another, be kind. I think kindness is highly underrated. Be thoughtful. Understand that we are all in this together.
If I could offer you any superpower, one that you've heard of, you know what superpower means, like X-ray vision, etc. If I could offer you any superpower, either one you've heard of or one that you make up on the spot,
oh my gosh,
which one would you request right now?
I'm stumped.
Stumped.
I'm stumped. I don't know what his superpower would be.
Think about it. I'll sit here for a minute.
He's something like a magic wand that would instantly spark compassion.
So you would want to be able to transfer to others the feeling of compassion, empathy and compassion.
Yeah.
Great. What's your favorite movie?
My favorite movie? Oh. Well, I don't know that I have a favorite movie. I loved Crash. I thought that was incredible along the same line because I thought that movie really helped to put people in very different situations, all experiencing the same thing from different... I thought that was a great movie. When I was a kid, I loved The Sound of Music. I don't know.
Okay, that's good. Who are your heroes?
It's interesting because when I was younger, I had lots and lots of heroes. And I had lots of people. I thought, if I could meet that person or if I could be like that person. The older I've gotten, it's not that I don't respect, I do, but my hero worship or hero identity has lessened a lot.
Is it because they have feet of clay?
It's because where I realized, there's nobody, we're all the same. They just...
Okay, so who would... I see you have a picture of Dr. King on your wall. Who would you emulate?
Well, he's certainly been one who's inspired me a lot. I think somebody I'd like to meet right now, because I find her fascinating, is the president of Liberia. I can't even remember her name.
Yeah. Tavis Smiley interviewed her.
Yes, she seems like a very fascinating woman. This was years ago, the two women that helped to bring a peace accord in Northern Ireland, and I thought they were brilliant. I'd love to sit down with, there's all sorts of people. Denzel Washington, I think, is a brilliant actor. I think in almost every one of his movies, he brings a significant message through his acting, so he's one that I think...
Beyond just the writing of the story, you're saying his acting adds message.
Right, I think he chooses roles and he brings his passion to those roles, and it always... he's done a few, I think, just for fun, but that sparked that kind of empathy and compassion and passion for life and caring for each other. He would be on the way.
Like that one where he takes over the ER?
Yeah. I think Oprah Winfrey has done an amazing thing in this world. I think she, the story of Esther, she's put on this earth for a time just such as this. I think the world was ripe. She was the right person. She's evoked so much generosity in people. She's done an amazing thing.
Is there something that I've neglected to ask you that you think bears mentioning at this point?
No, I think it's great you're doing this project. I, appreciate that you ran me down, and it took a while to do it because I've been overwhelmed too. It's probably not unlike so many people who are busy in service, that's just like, oh man, taking 2 hours out and who is this guy and all that. But thank you for what you're doing. Yeah.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for taking the time and meeting with me. And it was no problem that I had to follow up a couple of times. Thank you so much.
Thank you.